Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Fleming. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about just criminal activity, especially when it comes in the lives of youth and juveniles today. And just kind of as our Christian duty and what the gospel has clearly defined for us as Christians to have involvement and to be able to be a mentor to the children, especially at-risk children. I'm going to show you just a short video. This video is very personal for me because it is actually my foster brother's children. This just kind of shows that criminal activity is being encouraged in the sense of fighting and just negative environment that they're being in, and it's very maybe a little emotional for me at least. But I'm going to just go ahead and play it for you guys.
Move. Watch out for Juju.
Go ahead and pause it right there. That was a video that was posted on Facebook, and if you could hear the laughter in the background, that is my brother laughing because his children are fighting, and it's almost in the cool sense. Now this, as you watch this may have brought a little emotion to you, maybe anger or hurt or disturbed or sad, and like this is what's happening today in the lives of children, especially in at-risk neighborhoods. As I share this with you, I want to encourage you that this does not have to be the case, that there can be involvement and that Christians should be involved in the lives of children such as these. I have gotten a lot of my sources from either online sources or because I grew up at a children's home. My parents were the house parents. I had many foster brothers, and they went in and out of criminal activity and watching their children as well, and also just through my studies through Liberty University. Today, like I said, I want to be able to talk to you just as what we're called to do as Christians. I'm going to tell you just some stories of children and the violence that they've experienced and the violence that they are involving themselves in, and just the cause of really, the main cause of this, and then as Christians what we're that we're called to do. So I'm going to share just 3 stories with you, just about. They're more on the serious side of that children have been involved in. The first one is Joshua Smith. When he was younger, he was involved in gangs on the street, and through being involved in gangs on the street, his mother saw that as an issue, and she, set a dead, you need to be in at 11 o'clock. Every night, and he was very upset and angry with that, and he ended up taking a gun and shooting his mother about 10 times and ended up murdering her. Another story is of 2 foster boys, one ages 12 and the other one ages of 10 years old, who lured two younger boys, ages 9 and 11, away from the playground of where they were at, and they brutally beat these two other boys and actually sexually assaulted them. And the two victims, when they were found, the two boys, they thought they actually were dead because of this. They weren't, thank the Lord. But these are just the involvement of just younger children continually being involved in criminal activity. And the last one is just kind of a personal story of my friend, MAH00893, who was murdered by Connor Pridgeon and Charles Southern. MAH00893 was my friend back in high school, and Connor and Charles were also my friends. And so two of my friends had murdered Makia, which was also my friend. And it was just, they were all 17 years old. And so just a continual of criminal activity. And all these are murders or close to murders, but these are more of the serious type. But it starts much younger and much before that time period of where they get to that point. And that leads to my second point of just how children are just the cause of why they're doing this. An article who was written by the name of Daniel, he tells just about the rise of criminal activity in America. And he just shares this story of this child. It says, as an 8-year-old, this child watched his father brutally kill two people, and then years later, he too was in prison for murder. So the child, years later, just followed the footsteps of what he saw his father doing. And then another site that I got called Crime Statistics in the United States, they stated that studies have shown that children who have not grown up with their biological fathers are 3 times as likely to commit a crime. Children of divorced parents are 6 times more likely to be a delinquent than families with 2 parents. These children are more prone to join a gang than their regular peers who have regular parents in their lives. So this again just shows that because there's no involvement, there's more prone to criminal activity as a child because they do not have stability, they do not have that stableness, and really like a mentor in their lives. And even just going back to the stories of Joshua and those 2 foster boys and my friends Connor and Charles, they did not have that stability in their life to mentor them and to show them, hey, these are the areas that are wrong and that you should not be involved in. Which kind of brings me to my final point, which is what's the solution to all this? We see this murder, we see this violence, and it's heartbreaking, and we see this video of kids being encouraged to fight. So what's the solution? And the solution I think is just very simple, and following scripture, and especially like in Titus 2:1-8, where it just gives a clear outline of older women are supposed to disciple and mentor younger women, and older men are supposed to, this is how their conduct is supposed to live, they're supposed to disciple younger men. And that's in the context of the church, but it also can be used outside the church in mentoring and investing time into younger children. And then the last one is Matthew 28:19-20, where this is right before Jesus leaves the earth and goes back to heaven, and he leaves with this command of go and make disciples. And when we think about making disciples, sometimes, we have to like save everyone, and everyone has to come to faith in Jesus Christ. But disciples also is just investing time into the lives of others. And a big program that is just such a great program to get involved in is Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And so I urge you guys, if you guys are thinking of being able to invest in someone, going back to Big Brothers and Big Sisters is a very easy website to just go on and be able to fill out your information, and they really partner you with an at-risk team that could potentially be Joshua or these 2 foster boys or even these kids in this video. So kind of wrapping it all up and bring to my conclusion, you know, we heard all these different stories. We watched this video, and it is heartbreaking. And just seeing these kids get involved into the wrong crowds, and really being able to see, well, this is solution. And this is what we're called to do as Christians, is to be disciples and to invest our lives into others that are in need. And so I urge you to take the first step today, and ultimately the first step is always prayer. So I really encourage you guys to pray and ask, who am I investing my time in? Am I investing my time in someone? Because ultimately, if we're not investing our time in someone, we're living in disobedience. Going back to Matthew 28, it was a command to disciple others. It's a command to invest time into others. So my question to you is, are you willing to live in disobedience, or are you willing to obey? And so I really encourage you to, you know, choose someone to be able to invest in. Thank you for your time.